tried to settle their teams down, both play a wide open period, and I'm sure Bergeron doesn't want his club to play that way, and I'm sure, and I know Scotty Bowman doesn't, and I think that was their main job, just to try and settle everyone down.
And the second period is underway. There's no score in Montreal after one period of play. Payma into the Buffalo zone. Works it behind the net. Barrasso leaving it for John Tucker. Tucker now gives it to Andrechuk. The pass to send away Housley. Tips it through left for Housley to the Quebec line. It's a long drive, and Gosselin the save. Fights the rebound. Slaps it off the boards. Housley couldn't knock it down. Comes back down to the Buffalo blue line. Price gets it off the boards. Foligno took a whack at it, missed it, now comes up with it, works it back to the Quebec zone, sends it in, Price is there, off the boards, back to center, as Buffalo making a player change, slides into the Buffalo zone, Mike Ramsey back after it, gives it to Foligno, whacked by Gillis, left it in the corner, Height, Payma, bumps him into the board. Now Perreault starts back, at center, goes right back to the Quebec line on that right side. Stopping, waiting for some help. The pass over to Mike Ramsey. There's his drive. A weak one. Gosselin knocks that to the corner. Rough into bump against Marois. Off the corner glass. Back to the point. Fences waiting for it. Tries to keep it in. Unable to. It's picked off. Here he comes. Peter Stastny against Mike Ramsey. A great move, but Ramsey knocked it off his stick. A loose puck. Barrasso played it away from Cote. Looks up the ice. It's a long pass for Perreault. The fans were calling for a penalty as Peter Stastny was tripped up inside the Buffalo blue line.
You know, Ted, I have to believe that Peter Stastny is having problems with his wrist. And I also, if we look at Michel Bergeron, heard that he is having problems with his shoulder. And you look at his statistics, all assists. He has only 4 shots on goal going into tonight's game. And he had a chance to shoot the puck there, but tried to work around the outside of Mike Ramsey. And I'm sure that his wrist and his shoulder and everything else is bothering him.
Now the face-off back into the left of Barrasso. Perreault leaving it for Ruff. Ruff gets it behind the net. Mike Ramsey leads it now for Fences. We are in a 3-3 tie. Perreault, the pass, blocked at the Buffalo blue line. Recovered by Peter Stastny. Comes right back into the zone. Falls down, but gets it over to Rochefort. Ahead to Cote. Drops it back into Rochefort. He lost it. Now Perreault into forecheck to the far side. Goes to Marois. Around the boards, up to the line. Cleared to center. Here it comes into the Buffalo zone. Peter Stastny with Sauvé, the drive. And Fences stepped in front of that shot. Now Ruff gets it to Mike Ramsey. Sauvé goes down. Here comes Maxwell at center. Flips it in. Now Barrasso leaving it for Mike Ramsey. Quebec making a change. The pass over for Fences. There's his pass. Coming to the line where Sealing takes it. Now turns to get away. Comes to center ice. Up to the Quebec line. Gets in over the line. Trying to break in on goal. Sealing spun around. Still with it now. Knocked down from behind. Sealing into the corner. Sear going in with Wesley. Wesley bumps into Sear. Now Maxwell takes over with the long pass. Missed by Dale Hunter. Slides into the Buffalo zone.
You see Buffalo trying to play aggressive in that Quebec zone. And that's what they have to do. Just keep getting on top of that defense.
Orlando's pass too far for Sear. Maxwell with it. It's cleared to the line. Goulet takes over. He is stopped by Orlando. Recovered by Sear. Steps in over the line. He shoots, but it's blocked with a good defensive move by Maxwell. Now Goulet into the corner. He starts the butt. Back for Quebec. Up at center. To the Buffalo line against Schoenfeld. Barrasso waiting for it. Plays it off the glass. Sear knocks it down. Tumples there. Here's Hunter with Goulet in front of the net. The pass back to Moeller. There's the shot blocked by Schoenfeld and cleared by Al Peters. Back into the Quebec zone, and Buffalo will be called for icing. 3-3 tie here in the second period.
And a key defensive play in front of the net that time by Jim Schoenfeld to block that shot from the right point. Look at part of the sold-out house here at the Colisée, and Big Tom Barrasso handling 8 shots in that opening period. What a series he's played for Buffalo.
Face off into the left to the Buffalo net with Gillis against Tucker. Andrechuk, Tucker, and Foligno. Foligno into the corner. Now the pass comes back to the Quebec blue line, where it's recovered by Marois. Gives it to Rochefort. Tries to get away from Andrechuk. Up off the boards to the line. Gillis has control. Now to Marois. He lost it. Taken by Tucker. At center, the pass to Andrechuk. Steps in over the line. Then lost it. Marois recovers for the Nordiques. The 3-3 tie with 16-15 remaining in the second period. And the Nordiques coming back on the attack with the long pass. Broken up by Housley. Gets in over the line. He's hit by two Nordiques. Now at center, Andrechuk recovers it. Works it back in deep into his own zone to Height. Height lifted behind the net. Now gives it to Housley. There's the pass up to Foligno. The rink-wide pass to a rushing Andrechuk into the Quebec zone. He still has control. Left it there for Foligno. Stopped away by Paymont. And back into the Buffalo zone. Racing after it, Ashton with Benfus. And Ashton takes Benfus into the boards. Tipped in behind the net, and Foligno recovers it. Sabres coming back, led by Foligno. Gets by one, then he lost it. Right back with it is Peter Stastny into the Buffalo zone. Slapped away now Foligno again. At center to the Quebec line with the long shot. That will give time for Buffalo to make a change. As Benfus clears it back into the Nordiques. Maxwell with the pass right back into Sabres territory. Sauvé watching Ramsey. Up off the board, sends it to center. Maxwell cleared it back in. Sauvé was coming back over the blue line. Now Benfus, he bumped in behind the net, but Ramsey is there to pick it off. Now to Ruff. The pass hits the skate to Peter Stastny. Ruff gets it again. Takes it into the Quebec zone. The pass over to Perreault. Perreault looking for the pass. Over towards the ceiling. Couldn't control it. Got it up and he scores! Rick Sealing fired it off. A Nordique stick in the goal crease. And Sealing has put Buffalo back into the lead. It's 4-3.
Sealing just takes himself out of position. Now watch Peter Stastny in front of the net. And there it bounces in off his right leg as Sealing from an impossible angle. And a lot of times, a player like this will spot somebody standing in front of the net and purposely just fire the puck in his direction and hope that it will indeed hit his leg and go in, or his stick or something else. I don't think Sealing did it this time. You see Peter Stastny in the goal crease. It looked as if Quebec had that play well covered. And Buffalo has received a couple of breaks tonight. One puck went off twice in the first period, and now Peter Stastny here in the second.
And Sealing gets his fourth goal of the playoffs in 5 games. Schoenfeld trying to clear it. Has it on the boards. A good move to get by Kumpel. Now tipped to center. McKenna ahead to Peterson. Missed the pass. Loose puck inside the line. Recovered by Ramsey. Gives it to Brent Peterson. Back to Ramsey. Off the skate in front. And Price takes control. Pass up on the right side. Comes back to the line. Here's McKenna with it. He's trying to get. He's got Peterson in front of the net. The drive. It didn't get through. McKenna behind the net. And he is bumped. They slashed it off the board. Back over the blue line. Tipped to center. Rushing with it is Kumpel. He's got Hunter with him. There's a pass over to Hunter. But Ramsey got back beautifully. Here's Holder with the screen shot. Hits Craig Ramsey. Schoenfeld trying to clear it. Hunter into the corner. He's got Goulet all alone in front. And Schoenfeld with a great move on Hunter. Knocks him into the boards. Hunter gets up. Gets it back to the line and all the way back into the Nordique zone.
Oh, you talk about working hard in the corners. Jimmy Schoenfeld, and give a lot of credit to Kumpel and Hunter also in there, and that's what this game is all about, those battles in the corners.
And Schoenfeld has gone to the bench. Here's a drive, a pass. Skate save by Barrasso, but there's going to be a penalty to the Buffalo Sabres. But a skate save by Barrasso. When we come back, the Nordiques will be on the power play. The Sabres 4, the Nordiques 3.
Box as he takes Goulet down to the ice in Quebec. The chance to tie this game. 13:44 remaining here in the second period.
So the Nordiques on the power play. And on the draw, comes all the way back into Nordiques territory. Gosselin flipping it behind the net. Sears into Voracek. Sears, Paymont. Now Marois. Nordiques now coming back with that man advantage. He'll try to tie the game here in the second period. Cleared into the Buffalo zone. Mike Ramsey going in deep behind the net. Tried to slap it, came off the leg, and firing it wide was Ashton. Had a great opportunity. Fired it wide. Now it comes back to the blue line. Here's Hunter working it over. Paymont missed it. Now into the corner. Paymont gets it back to Marois. There's his slap shot. Went off the leg. Here goes to Sauvé. The shot blocked by Perreault. He knocked it over the line. Perreault appears to be hurt his leg. Gets up slowly. Now the Nordiques shoot it right back into the Buffalo zone. Mike Ramsey in along the boards, and he chops it back into the Quebec zone.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. You hate to keep repeating yourself, but Barrasso not leaving the puck in the proper spot for Mike Ramsey in behind the net, and that's how that whole thing started.
55 seconds left on the power play. Here they come. Kunkel breaks it on goal. Right in. The drive, the save. Goulet and Barrasso makes another save on Goulet. So they all tangled up now with Benford.
Well, you talk about speed. I mean, my goodness, Kunkel was going 100 miles an hour down the wing. As you see, Barrasso with one stop, and that rebound kick right out in front, right onto the stick of Goulet. And here's another backhand save by Tom Barrasso, and then falling on it. Kunkel with just great speed around the outside. Brent Peterson trying to check him from behind. And Barrasso coming up big in there. Boy,
well, the Sabres have had 16 shots overall, and the Nordiques with a total of 11.
.45 seconds remaining in that Buffalo penalty to Height. And you're going to see Brent Peterson take this one against Hunter. And again, Michel Bergeron playing Peter Stastny and Goulet for the most part in this hockey game.
On the draw, Schoenfeld gets it off the glass. Ramsey tied up with Sauvé. Schoenfeld in there digging with it now. Here goes Goulet into the corner. Sends it around to the right point. Maxwell into Hunter. Knocked off his stick and back now to the Quebec blue line. Hunter goes back after it, gives it to Sauvé. They come back quickly again. Sauvé rushing to the Buffalo line. His pass comes over to Goulet. Left it for Hunter. Stand on it. Schoenfeld clears it.
And a good play by Jimmy Schoenfeld, and Buffalo's trying to stand up at that blue line and challenge the Nordiques.
9 seconds left. Oh, Goulet's got a break late and goal. Shot it wide. Goulet shot it wide, and Barrasso holds on. And Michel Goulet, a 55-goal scorer in the regular season with a chance there to tie it up, but he was unsuccessful.
And Mike Ramsey got caught standing still at the blue line. You see where Barrasso, right at the top of that crease. And boy, Goulet with not a whole lot to shoot at. See if we can pick it up from this angle. Look at this. Barrasso with just an outstanding job of covering up. And so many times you say, well, the player made a bad play because he shot it wide. But in so many cases, that goaltender forces the shooter because he takes that net away from him. I really felt the only place he could go that time was on the short side.
And the Sabres are back to full strength. They've held off the Nordiques during that penalty to defenseman Bill Height. The faceoff will be into the left of the Buffalo net. Right now, linesman Bob Hodge is taking some ice from the side of the net. Apparently, he's going to repair a hole in the ice back at the Buffalo blue line. 11:44 remaining here in the second period.
You know, the one thing the coaches said don't have to do for a game like this is get their hockey clubs up mentally, because if you're not ready to play in a deciding game in the Stanley Cup Finals, you shouldn't be in this business. You look at that day of rest, and you're looking for the edge. I think you have to give it to Quebec. They were a battered team when they left Memorial Auditorium. Sabres, as far as we know, in good shape as far as injuries are concerned, but that extra day, I think, really helps Quebec.
On the draw, Bowler misses it, and it comes back into the Quebec zone. He'll go back after it. Sabres back at full strength. Here's Foligno trying to knock him off the puck. Ashton has it. It comes down to Foligno. He knocked it in off the stick of Andreychuk to the corner. Price has it. Up on the left side, but it's Foligno. Keeps it in now for Buffalo. There goes Tucker, racing to the corner. Bowler after him. Sends it behind the net. Price trying to clear it now. Back to Height with the long shot right on. And Gosselin makes the save. Bowler gets it around the boards. It comes over the line to center.
A good play by Andreychuk. That's what you want when your defense pinches in. You want that forward
Tucker
back there.
And that is deflected over the glass and into the crowd. And with the score, Buffalo 4, Quebec 3. Will return to the Coliseum in a moment. 11 minutes and 7 seconds left in the second period. 4-3 Buffalo in the lead. And the Nordiques try to come back, but now Sear takes it and comes back to center. He drops it back into Mike Ramsey. Over for Fenton. Steps over the line. The pass off the boards into the Quebec zone. It is taken by Rochefort. Now feeds it to Maxwell, to Merwell rather. Over the line. Knocked out into the Buffalo zone. Mike Ramsey in after it. Peter Stastny into forecheck. Gets away from him. The pass to Sear. Left it for Sealing. Got Perreault with him. Now Perreault comes in over the line. Stopping. Waiting for some help. Left it for Sear. Now Sauvé along the boards. Here's Mike Ramsey in to keep it in for Buffalo, and they whistle it down.
Muriel made a smart play there. That stick was laying out in that neutral ice area inside his blue line, and he just took it and fired it over to the wing. And that sort of made Perreault hesitate a little bit and enabled the Quebec Nordique to react to that play. When you're out there, any edge you can get, anything that's going to give you a little bit extra, you must take advantage of it.
Another 2 games in the playoffs tonight. Nothing to report on those. Islanders in Washington, Boston, Montreal. Both games still scoreless. And here you see it's 10:25 left to play in the second period of this one. Scotty Bowman now talking to Sean McKenna and Gates Orlando at the Buffalo bench before they move over to the face-off area. Orlando, McKenna, and Craig Ramsey.
What a hockey game up to this point. 10:25 remaining.
On the draw, it comes back. Craig Ramsey keeping it in for Buffalo. Orlando and Price are all tied up. Now it's slapped around to the far side. Schoenfeld keeps it in for Buffalo. Tips it in off the boards. McKenna bumped by Maxwell. Peter Stastny's there. Craig Ramsey. Frankie Sauvé has it at the blue line. Tries to get away. Check from behind. Sauvé then lost it to Craig Ramsey. Gives it to McKenna. Steps to the Quebec line with the long drive. And Gosselin gloved that one easily. Now Price with McKenna chasing him. It's Playfair unable to keep it into the line. Peter Stastny in over the line looking for a free teammate. Still has it. Gets it into the corner. Goulet misses it. Ramsey knocks Sauvé down in front of the net. Comes to center.
Now, Brian Lewis saw that too, but I think J.F. Sauvé really helped that one along a little bit.
Goulet right back at center to the Buffalo line. Shoots it in wide. Barrasso playing it off the board. Back now to Peter Stastny into the corner. Here's Hunter. The pass is going to be a penalty here coming to Buffalo. As Goulet was tripped up, Foligno will go to the penalty box. The Nordiques will be on the power play when we return with the score. Buffalo 4, Quebec 3.
Well, 2 minutes for a cut through by Foligno or holding. 10:39.
Quebec on the power play, of course. They have scored 1 goal tonight. You see Foligno at the bottom of your screen right here. A hold of Michel Goulet.
Sabres killed off the last one. What can they do this time with a face-off of the Buffalo zone? Lemieux and Perreault on the draw. Kicked back. Marois with the drive. Barrasso the save. The rebound coming to the boards for Sealing. Slapped it back into the Quebec zone. Gosselin leaving it now for Maxwell. Perreault into forecheck. He turns back up the ice as the Nordiques set it up with the extra man. Lemieux almost lost it. Left it there for Payma. He tipped it in to the corner board. Sealing goes in after it with Mike Ramsey. Up off the glass. Kept in now by the Nordiques. Here's Payma along the boards with Ramsey. Perreault comes up with it. Skates over the blue line. Gets to center. Makes his way to the Quebec line. Still stick handling with it. Doing a fine job. Dropped it back to height. Now he sends it in. The Nordiques go back to set it up with 1:19 left in their power play. Quebec making a player change on this power play. Now Maxwell on the right side. It's stopped there by Ramsey. Recovered by Hunter. Marois feather comes back to Maxwell. Now the pass. Taken by Frankie Sauvé. He's got 3 points tonight. Sauvé, 2 assists and 1 goal. Back it comes to Price. Price trying to work to get the shot. There's the drive. It's blocked. Another shot. A save by Barrasso on Price's own rebound. Price gets it to the far side. Stastny comes up with it. 47 seconds left in the power play. Knocked back to the point to Maxwell. He taps it into the corner. Mike Ramsey gives it to Brent Peterson. Gets it off the leg of the linesman just over the Buffalo blue line. Comes back in with 37 seconds left in the power play. Barrasso with a big save a moment ago on Price. They tip it back into the Buffalo zone. White goes in after it. He clears it around the glass. Cut off by Peter Stastny. He gets it back to the point, and Boulder misses it.
You see Quebec, when they're on the power play, move that puck so quickly in that Buffalo zone, and you have a player going to the puck, and suddenly it's moved back the other way. And it's difficult to react.
Benfis clears it, and Foligno will step on the ice in 7 seconds. Sauvé comes to the line, works it over to Goulet and up to the corner. Sauvé moves into the corner, gets it to the other corner now. Foligno's on the ice, kept away by Sealing. Taken now, loose puck comes back. Here's goes forward and goal to try to save. Another save by the left. Foligno and Tom Barrasso. Unbelievable on this power play to hold off the Nordiques. And the Sabres are called for icing, and the score, Buffalo 4, Quebec 3. Off in the Buffalo zone, Price clearing it to the corner. Hunter taken to the boards by Orlando. Now recovered by Halkidas, tips it to the line. That back in, it's an offside call.
And Halkidas once again playing up on that forward line. Big, strong kid. And Scotty wants him in those corners to be big and tough in there. Look at Mark Kumpel. We talked about his speed. A lot of people say he's the fastest skater on this hockey club, and I believe that after that one rush.
Albert Ward shooting it into the Sabres zone. Housley at the side of the net. Gets it away from trouble. Halkidas over the line. Orlando starting now the pass now to Sear at the Quebec blue line. He fired it through. It's deflected into an offside call at the Quebec line. 6:35 remaining here in the second period with the score Buffalo 4, Quebec 3. Face off over the Quebec blue line. Orlando, Sear, and Halkidas, the rookie. Halkidas playing up in the right wing. Now the pass to Orlando sends it into the Quebec zone. Gosselin leaving it for Maxwell. Starts back with the pass, blocked by Tucker. Tucker, Andrechuk, and Foligno now on. Here's Foligno carrying it into the Quebec zone to the corner, trying to get around Wolfsport, brings it to the side. He's checked, he's held there, he's in the goal. He's right in the net, as a matter of fact. And then the referee, Brian Lewis, whistling the play down. 4-3 Buffalo leading. Will return to the Coliseum in a moment following this message. A look at the Buffalo bench with Scotty Bowman and Joe Crozier pacing in behind. Face off in the Quebec zone into the left with Tucker at center. On the draw, bouncing puck into the circle. Foligno tries to get to it. Here's Gillis. He just sits right down on top of it. And they'll do it again into the left of Mario Gosselin.
You know, Ted, you talk about players going into a game like this. I think you go back to the days when you were a youngster. You dream of playing in the NHL and playing in the Stanley Cup, and to go have the opportunity to play in a game. We'll get to that a little later.
On the draw, Tucker trying to work it back to Housley. Side up, gets it to Andrechuk. There's a quick drive, but it's gate save Gosselin. Now Height and along the boards. Here comes Andrechuk to keep it in for Buffalo. Now tipped into the penalty box area in the far side. Jim, you were saying?
To have the opportunity to play in a game that will decide a series, and I think Brian Lewis has been injured as he's heading towards that Quebec bench. It's bent over a little bit, and obviously he's going to receive some assistance. But I think in the dressing room for both clubs, not just for the Buffalo Sabres, but for the Quebec Nordique, if you're a player, you look at Brian Lewis cut around the eye. You just have to make up your mind before you step onto the ice that you're going to play the best game that you've ever played in the NHL. And it's the only way you can approach a game like this. And let the chips fall as they may. Just give 100%, and you can't ask for anything more than that.
Ted, how about a trivia question? Dave Andrechuk became the third Sabre to score a hat trick in a playoff game. Gilles Perreault was the other one. Who was the other guy?
The other gentleman, I think, is sitting beside me, and it's not you.
You're right about that. Nope, it's Jimmy Loritz.
I remember that. Boy, that's something you never forget against the Minnesota North Stars. But Andrechuk is the only player to score a hat trick on home ice at the Auditorium. Carroll scored his on the road also.
Well, Brian Lewis now still getting repaired there at the Quebec bench area.
Some of that stuff that Ray Mancini uses.
Maybe Hagler could have used. Well, no, he really didn't bother him at all last night, did it? See, we can pick up what happened here. See Brian Lewis, just getting hit with a high stick. It doesn't appear to be serious, and I'm sure Brian Lewis will be back momentarily.
Probably trying to do as much as they can now, and then perhaps give them a few stitches at the end of this second period. With 5:50 remaining here in the second period.
I think Brian Lewis has really let the teams play tonight, too. He's, on a couple of occasions, could have called some penalties on both sides, and he's just letting the two teams play.
The Sabres had a 3-1 lead in that first period at one point, and then the Nordiques came back to tie it up before the end of the first period.
You look back to the past two games, Ted. This is about the time right now where Quebec started to fade in the auditorium in Buffalo, and you'll have to think that they're basically an 8 or 9 man hockey club. Bergeron really specifically plays 8 or 9 people, and it has to catch up to you late in a game.
And the Sabres scored 5 times in the third period in both games in Buffalo. Gilbert Perreault with a pair of goals tonight. Ruff and sealing the other two. It's 4-3 Buffalo here in the second period. Now Housley missed it at center. Slides right through to Barrasso. Tries to clear it to the far board. Sauvé clearing it to the corner. Housley will go after it. Has it. Tipped it up for Foligno. Lost his stick. Kicks at it. Can't get it out. Now Housley going back. Loose puck at the side. Back into the corner. Foligno still without his stick. Trying to get to it in the circle. Picks it up. Now Sauvé has it. He has checked. Foligno into the corner. And he is tripped up. Here's Price with it now, getting it back in behind the net. Now Andrechuk on the far board. Bumped by Cote. Tucker can't clear it. Here's Moeller with a shot blocked by Tucker. Just gets it over the line. Tucker left it there for Foligno. Rushes to the Quebec line. Goes down. Gets up. Gives it to Andrechuk. Here's Andrechuk on the far board. It's kicked away in the Nordiques. Started back up the ice. Gets it up a 3-on-2. And Cote goes to the bench. Now Sauvé left it there for Goulet, who just stepped onto the ice. Goulet slaps it into the corner. It's recovered by Playfair. Playfair getting it off the board. Right back to the Quebec line. Wolfsburg swings it over now. The Berrois giving it to Sauvé. Playfair can't get it out. It's kept in. Goes wide of the net. And Schoenfeld in behind the net. Sabres lead at 4-3 with 4:30 left to play in the second period. Comes back to center. Slapped off the boards. Recovered by Andrechuk at center right. To the Quebec line. Trying to get around. Sends it in. Dale Hunter takes it, and Andrechuk goes to the bench. The Sabres make a change. Sears steps on, and the Nordiques fire it wide. Playfair in the touch at Quebec, called for icing. Right now, let's go back to Buffalo for an NHL playoff update with West Goforth, brought to you by Hit Music 104 WNYN.
While scoring is the story at Quebec tonight, it's goaltending and defense in the other Adams Division semifinal. Doug Keen's coming up big on Mats Naslund here. Montreal scoreless with Boston in the second period. In the Patrick Division at the Cap Center, Billy Smith will stop a goal, possible goal here. Anders Keller has just scored to put the Islanders up 1-0. Back to Quebec after this.
8 seconds remaining in the second period. 4-3, Buffalo leading. Face-off into the line of Mario Goslin. Orlando in its center with Craig Ramsey and Sean McKenna on the wings. Orlando wins the draw. The shot by Memphis was blocked. They try to get after it. It's kicked over the line by Gillis. Fired into the Buffalo zone, and Barrasso now plays it around the boards. Waiting for it is McKenna. McKenna's pass to Orlando. It's tipped away. Loose puck at center. Orlando checked by Ashton. Recovered by Ramsey. Shoots it in. There goes McKenna. In deep against Goslin. Goslin shoots it to the corner. Slapped around by Berrois. Craig Ramsey's there. Now Payma. Orlando gets it off. Gets it back to Fingers along the line. Cleared it in front now. Here's McKenna with a shot that goes wide. Orlando into the corner. Back along the board. Sends it back in behind the net. Goslin trying to leave it there. And it's shot over the glass and into the crowd. And now, here's Ed.
Yes, Ed, coming up in the second intermission, we'll have a musical feature that's guaranteed to get you into the Stanley Cup playoff mood. And then Jim and I will have highlights of this second period.
Good forechecking the last couple of moments by Craig Ramsey, Sean McKenna, and Gates Orlando. The Sabres trying to get that momentum back in their favor. You notice tonight, I think they're a lot stronger in around the opposing team's blue line and in around their blue line. They're clearing that puck out of their own end with authority, and when they have the chance in that Quebec zone, they're making sure that for the most part it goes in deep.
Well, the Nordiques have had a couple of power plays in this period, and as a result, they've had 9 shots on goal. Buffalo has had 5. Face-off in the Quebec zone. Perreault against Dale Hunter. On the draw, Sealing has control. Into the corner with it. Stopping. Still with it. There's a high drive that goes wide and off the glass and all the way back into the Buffalo zone. Playfair has to go back after it. Works it off the boards. Taken by Hunter. Hunter gets it in over the line. He is checked by Sealing. Hunter goes to the ice, and Sealing as well. Loose puck in behind the net. There's Couple with John Feld. Goulet trying to get away from Playfair. It comes in front, and it's recovered now by Steer. He comes up the ice. A 2-on-2 situation. Perreault trailing to the line. There's the shot, but goes wide. Comes all the way back to the blue line. And Kumpel has it now with the pass for Maxwell at center to the Buffalo line against Schoenfeld. Cleared it in, off a stick to the corner. Playfair going in there with Hunter. Comes back to the point, fights for the long drive. It goes wide. Peter Stastny on the far board. Here he is with a shot, but it's blocked by Schoenfeld. Hunter gets it back to Peter Stastny, and he lost it, and Steer comes up with it. Steer trying to flip it high into the air, and he does, right to the Quebec penalty box.
And a good, strong play there by Steer, just moving that puck out. And Peter Stastny, boy, when he gets that puck in the corners around those face-off areas, he is so dangerous. He's such a fine offensive player and a great passer. And if you can get yourself into the open for him, boy, he can usually get that puck to you.
And it's 2:34 left to play here in the second period.
Ted, Anders Kaller has scored for the Islanders against the Washington Caps, so the Islanders a 1-0 lead in the second period.
Face off of the Buffalo zone now with Peter Stastny against Brent Peterson. And Peterson wins the draw this time from Stastny. Housley feeds it to Peterson. Gives it to Craig Ramsey. Back to Peterson to the Quebec line. He's got McKenna left it for McKenna. Shoots it off the boards behind the net. There's Peterson now. Into the corner. Getting it back to Ramsey. Back in for Peterson. Tied up by Roseborn. Now McKenna moves in. Craig Ramsey gets it back to McKenna. Here's McKenna trying to work it in front to get the shot. For the point to Height. The long screen drive. Deflected away to the corner, and Cote goes in after it. McKenna chasing him. Exactly 2 minutes to go here in this period. There's a drive there by Peterson that went off a leg. Now the loose puck. Recovered by the Nordiques. Frankie Sauvé starts the rush at center. Pass blocked by Ramsey. Gets it again. Tips it in front of that. And Barrasso has to glove it with Peter Stastny cruising and right in front of the Buffalo net. 1:44 now remaining here in the second period. Sabres continue to lead by a goal. Tom Barrasso has faced now a total of 18 shots.
The only goal of this period coming up the stick of Rick Sealing. And this is exactly the way we thought this second period would be played. Much tighter checking than that opening 20 minutes when we saw 6 goals. You see Quebec breaking out of their own zone. J.F. Sauvé's had a fine game tonight for Quebec. And Buffalo with good coverage in front of that net as the Nordiques failed to get in front of Barrasso.
Ramsey feeds it to Foligno to the blue line. Now it's center. Tied up by Payma. It goes to the far side, and Andrechuk sends it off the boards into the Quebec zone, and Gillis ran into Andrechuk, and now it's cleared back into Buffalo territory. Barrasso comes way out with Ashton in deep, and he plays it behind the net. Now the Sabres try to clear it, but Price keeps it in, and they get a whistle.
You know, Ted, I haven't seen Lindy Ruff on the ice this period yet, and I'm looking down at the bench. I don't see him. You would assume that perhaps he has suffered an injury. It's the only reason, obviously, that he wouldn't be there.
Well, perhaps he has re-injured the shoulder that he had operated on earlier this year. Face-off will be over the Buffalo blue line with 1:18 remaining here in the second period.
See Scotty again mixing his lines up. Boy, he's had players playing with everyone.
Oh, Ramsey, there's a drive there by Goulet. The save. Barrasso with Ramsey had trouble clearing it. Here comes Foligno. Sends away Andrechuk into the Quebec zone. Foligno races towards the net. Andrechuk is hit. Knocked into the boards heavily. Loose puck behind the net. With 1 minute to go. Andrechuk gets up into the corner. He's got Tucker in front. The pass blocked by Gosselin. Now Tucker is hauled down. And the Nordiques clear it, but just over the line. Mike Ramsey giving it to Andrechuk.
I was really surprised that Andrechuk just didn't fire that puck, Ted.
Now Andrechuk tied up by Goulet. Cleared off the boards by Fenfis. Here's Foligno. 39 seconds left in the period. Sends it in off the corner boards. Now the Nordiques come back over the blue line. The long pass tipped away by Hunter into the Buffalo zone. 30 seconds to go. Buffalo holding on to this 1-goal lead as the second period comes to an end with 22 seconds to go. Rochefort to the far side to Marois. Shooting it back in. Barrasso gloved that, leaves it for Housley. 14 seconds to go. Housley getting it off the boards over the blue line. 10 seconds remaining. Rochefort and Buffalo will try to go into the third period with a 1-goal lead. Barrasso plays into the corner. 2 seconds. Well, that's going to be it. The end of the second period. The Sabres will carry a 1-goal lead into the third period. Shots on goal after 2 periods for the Quebec Nordiques, 20, and for the Buffalo Sabres, 19. And so the score, after 2 periods of play, the Buffalo Sabres 4 and the Quebec Nordiques 3.